With fury in her eyes, Rashida dashed into the room. She was resolved to face the cause of her heartache because the news had hit her like a tidal wave. Her voice was strong and uncompromising as she shouted, "What did you just say?" With her arms folded and a sneer on her lips, Jasmine leaned back against the wall. "I am expecting a child." As though giving the most casual news possible, she said, "Kirk is the father." Rashida's heart fell, anger and incredulity churning within her. "You think that news will just waltz in here? You've gone insane." Jasmine pretended to be unconcerned as she shrugged. "I'm not to blame for your failure to discipline him. This is what he desired." Rashida became infuriated as the remark struck a deep chord. "Do you believe this to be a game? You're attempting to ruin my family because of an error." Jasmine took a step forward, her eyes brimming with defiance. "Oh, Rashida, it's more than a mistake. This is true. You cannot act as though this is not taking place." Rashida felt her blood boil. "You don't know who you're interacting with. I will not allow you to take away my life." Jasmine gave a chilly, resentful laugh. "You're living in denial. Kirk has made up his mind. Everything is changed by this baby." Unspoken words and unresolved emotions filled the room with an electric tension. Rashida took a step forward, her voice steady and low but full of poison. "You believe you're succeeding? I will battle for my family and for my marriage. That won't be taken away from me by you." Jasmine cocked her head, a look of amusement mixed with haughtiness on her face. "You can fight all you want, but anger alone won't make love go away. He has had enough of your drama." Rashida took a long breath to regain her composure and tightened her fists. "Drama? Do you believe that drama is at play here? This is my family, my life. All you are is a distraction." "You're projecting?" Rashida. Jasmine shot back in a belittling tone. "If anything, I'm the one who's brought him happiness, something you haven't done in a long time." Rashida's rage boiled over. "Do you really believe you can in here and take over like you own the place? You're going too far." Rashida lifted her hand and gave Jasmine a forceful slap across the face before she could consider. Jasmine staggered back, astonishment and rage flashing across her features as the voice reverberated in the tight environment. "You think this is a joke?" Rashida snarled, adrenaline weighing heavily on her lungs. "You have no idea who you're messing with." Jasmine's countenance changed to a ferocious look as she rapidly regained her composure. "You believe I'm intimidated by that slap? Please. I've experienced worse." With the rumors pressing down on her, Rashida paced the living room, her heart pounding. Just yesterday she had heard murmurs of a terrible betrayal that was like a knife to her heart. And she was still in disbelief over what she had heard. The idea of Kirk, her husband, being involved in an affair that was more personal than she could have ever imagined was intolerable. She inhaled deeply and found the strength to face him. "Kirk," she said with a little hesitation, "I need the truth. I have been hearing rumors about you and my mother." Kirk's face went white, and he looked truly bewildered for a second. "Rashida, what are you talking about?" "Know that I would never," she interrupted. "Don't lie to me," her rage erupting. "You cannot continue to deny this. I've got evidence. How are you able to harm me?" Kirk was clearly unprepared for the encounter, as seen by his stuttering. "It isn't what you believe. Your mother and I." "Not what I think?" She retaliated incredulously. "You were meant to be my confidante and collaborator. You're skulking around with my own mother instead? How could you have betrayed me in this manner, with the weight of broken trust?" The tension in the room crackled. Rashida waited for him to explain himself while crossing her arms and staring at him. His eyes darted about the room as though looking for a way out, but the words appeared to become lodged in his throat. He eventually managed to remark, "Look, I made a mistake." His tone changing from defensive to begging. "It didn't mean anything." "Didn't mean anything?" she said, unable to believe it. "Do you genuinely believe that improves it? This is my mother, not just a passing fancy. This is a betrayal of our family as well as our marriage." Kirk took a step forward, his face etched with desperation. "Please, Rashida. We can repair this, and I can fix it. Allow me to explain, please." "What? What needs to be explained?" Rashida's voice faltered, not out of fear but rather from the intense agony she was experiencing. "You went with her instead of me. There is no turning back the line you passed. The ensuing hush was oppressive. Rashida resisted the tears that began to fall. She refused to let him witness her sob. That was not her strength. Her thoughts were racing as she thought back to their previous love, which had been damaged by his treachery. Her voice remained steady despite the turmoil within of her. "Your actions have consequences, Kirk," she replied firmly. "This is not fair to me. I'm worthy of respect and loyalty, especially from my own husband. My trust has been broken by you in a way I never imagined possible." Kirk strained to find the perfect words, as regret filled his eyes. "I never intended to cause you harm. It simply occurred. I didn't think I was weak." "Didn't think?" Rashida sneered, her words tinged with resentment. "You ought to have known better. You're an adult. This is a decision, not merely an error. You made the worst decision to betray me." She turned away from him because she needed time to gather her thoughts and deal with the turmoil in her heart. She muttered, "I can't even look at you right now," her voice cracking. "You've crossed a line that can never be uncrossed." Kirk's hand sprang out and grabbed her wrist as she made her way to the door. "Please don't leave, Rashida. I cherish you." While his words lingered in the air, Rashida was hit by a wave of emotions. Love never betrayed. Families were not split apart by love. Love. She asked again, unable to believe it. "Love is the exact opposite of what you did. How can I ever put my trust back in you?" She wrenched her arm away with tears in her eyes, her heart heavy with pain but determined to stick to her decision. "I need some time to reflect. Everything we created together has been destroyed by you, and I'm not sure if I will ever be able to look at you the same way." She was grounded in the midst of the chaos when the cool air struck her like a wave as she stepped out into the night. Her heart ached from Kirk's betrayal, and she felt both lost and free. Kirk stood by alone behind her, struggling with the fallout from his decisions and thinking that he might have just lost the love of his life. According to rumors, Rashida, who has endured Kirk's never-ending string of infidelity for a long time, is over his infidelity and dishonesty, which have been a persistent source of friction in their marriage. Kirk has frequently made news for his dubious actions. His on-screen betrayal during a getaway on Love Hip Hop is among the most notorious incidents. The turmoil and Kirk's obvious deceit over paternity during Rashida's pregnancy in Season 2 made this scene memorable. This was a huge drama bomb that completely upended their relationship. In order to establish paternity by Season 3, Kirk had a DNA test, which only made matters worse and left Rashida in shock. Dramatic arguments with Shirlene, Rashida's mother, who famously ran over Kirk's motorcycle in a heated altercation, were also brought on by their tumultuous marriage. Rashida appears prepared to regain control of her life and move on from a marriage that has been nothing less than a dramatic soap opera, despite their years of well-publicized highs and lows. Rashida, a veteran cast member who is renowned for balancing her work, family, and her tumultuous relationship with Kirk, would undergo a significant change if the divorce rumors proved to be accurate. Many people are supporting Rashida's choice to finally sever her relationship with Kirk Frost after years of deception, as her journey has been one to remember. As she leaves the turbulent marriage, Rashida appears to have had enough of playing second fiddle to Kirk's infidelity and dishonesty and has decided to prioritize her happiness and tranquility. Kirk gave a fierce shake of his head. Nothing at all. She seemed to have disappeared with the cash. I'm now entangled in a web of accusations after being left frantically trying to determine what transpired. I am the one who has been harmed, notwithstanding the claims that I am concealing riches. Jessica's face became more sympathetic. How are you responding to these accusations and getting your assets back? Kirk's expression changed to one of steely resolve. I've already started the legal process. I'm determined to get back what's rightfully mine, even if it will be a difficult battle. This is about clearing my name and revealing the truth, not simply about the money. I want people to know that I'm doing something instead of just watching. Jessica reclined while she considered the significance of Kirk's remarks. The public will undoubtedly be closely watching this case because it is so well known. How are you handling the strain and the consequences for your reputation? Kirk inhaled deeply, determination and fatigue mingling in his eyes. I have to maintain my focus despite the intense public scrutiny and overwhelming stress. I must constantly remind myself that justice and bringing the truth to light are more important than my reputation. Jessica nodded in comprehension. And in this turbulent time, what message do you wish to deliver to your supporters? Kirk's voice grew softer, yet it was firm and unwavering. I sincerely appreciate the help. To be honest, I want us to be authentic. No more lies, no more secrets, I want to tell it all. His tone hardened with conviction as he replied, I'm done pretending. Rashida examined him, her shoulders becoming less tense. Are you truly prepared to do that? It may hurt, and it will become nasty. With an almost hopeful spark sparking between them, he responded, messy is better than nothing. I don't want to leave this situation. I want to stand up for what we still have and what we had. She paused, obviously considering what he had to say. Since trust has been damaged, we will need to start over. With a touch of earnestness in his voice, he answered, I know, but perhaps we can find our way back if we are both prepared to be honest. I want to attempt, even though it won't be flawless. As the barricade between them started to crumble, Rashida's demeanor softened, and she eventually uncrossed her arms. All well, then. Let's begin with the whole truth. With a mixture of comfort and apprehension, Kirk inhaled deeply. Rashida, I was afraid. I buried my head in diversions because I was afraid I would lose you or mess things up, but you weren't treated fairly by it. And I was scared too, she said, letting out a little sigh. I tried to take control in the only way I knew how because I was afraid of being vulnerable and getting hurt again.